Ireland in white kick off. Welsh rugby in crisis. Well, as Tom Jones would forwards, Christoph Ridley is watching so closely.
Yes!
And Wander Fleer. Gibson Park puts it into the corner for James Lowe, and it's Jamie Osborne.
Ireland versus Wales at the Principality. The game is over. We've had a time to look at it. There was a red card involved. Yeah, I think it was a brilliant game, especially coming from someone who's a neutral supporter. Brilliant game. As an Irish supporter, you'd be fairly disappointed, I think, but you'll be happy to come away with the win. As a Welsh supporter, man, there's a lot to be proud of in this performance, especially coming up against the informed team in the Northern Hemisphere, the world number 2, and only losing it in the last 20 minutes. I guess looking at it from that standpoint as well, you wonder what went wrong. Now, we'll go through it. I'll tell you what I think, kind of let the Welsh down a little bit, and we'll break down the game and a couple players' performances as well. But let's start. You can see here, so the game starts off. Jack Conan gets a beautiful try, well worked. Prendergast kicks it over. He gets a penalty again in 20 minutes. At this point, the Irish, are looking great, but they're just not making the most of the opportunities. There was one point there where there was a pass from, Jamie Osborne, that just, he should have stuck to Ringrose. It was a clean try right in front of him, open try line, shocking pass. It gets dropped. It should probably be just forward pass anyway, to be honest, but missed point right there. At that point, that can turn the whole game right there as well. So then we get back to the Welsh are kind of making a bit of a fight back at this point, around that 20-minute mark. Gareth Anscombe gets a penalty, kicks it over. I think the coach for the Welsh did the right thing, actually playing players in their actual position, right? In their natural position, instead of playing people like Ben Thomas in at number 10, playing Blair Murray on the wing or in centres, something like that. So Max Llewellyn, done well, come in. I think there's a couple missed opportunities by the Welsh as well, where they're making half a break. The last offload is knocked on or it just doesn't stick. In the 32nd minute, Gary Ringrose gets a yellow card at that point. They send it up for review. It ends up becoming a red, which I think is bullcrap. I hate these red cards for head contact. I don't know if you ever watched it. It was a World Cup final for the women's, and the lady was running down the sideline. She stepped in last second, and the New Zealand girl tackled her. I think it was a New Zealand girl. And it was just kind of head-to-head contact, and she got red carded in the World Cup final. It might have been the other way around, actually, maybe against the Kiwi girl. But this head-to-head contact, you can't move your head out the way. I understand if you're, aiming your head at the person. It's a different story if there's intent, but you just can't move your head last minute. You just can't do it. And with Ringrose, it was unfortunate. Yeah, I just don't like that rule, but at the end of the day, that is the rule, and he got a red card. It was upgraded, and I think a yellow card would have been suffice. I mean, yeah, luckily it's only a 20-minute red card, right? Gareth Anscombe gets the penalty. Then Morgan with a beautiful, beautiful try. Well worked. I think he deserves it. El Capitano, just that pressure they built. They kept going for the corner. They kept working for it. And they got the try, taking the lead into halftime. I mean, who would have ever thought? Imagine the bookies. If you said halftime Wales are winning and full-time Ireland win, you would be a rich, rich man right now. Start of second half, Rogers gets a try, which is well-deserved. He had a brilliant game, Tom Rogers, with a great finish. It's one of those ones where the whole body's up in the air like this and they put the ball down. So the defender can't do much apart from maybe attack the hands. So beautifully worked try. But that's when the Irish step it up a notch. Prendergast for penalty. I think this is where Ireland went from trying to score a lot of points and get the bonus point win to winning the game. So you could see that switch in the players where they started taking the points. They started playing more possession rugby. They started playing more territory as well. So they just started kind of playing smarter, to be honest. And that's where I think the top teams in the world can do that. They can adjust to what the game is like. You see it with the Box the whole time. First half, they try to play it around and they end up, being behind, and then they just go, all right, we're just going to kick it to the corners. We're going to muscle up and defend, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the I guess, guesswork out of it and put it back in our favor, and that's what the Irish did. Then Osborne comes in with a brilliant try. Jamie Osborne, well worked. I think it's just pressure, really, that got that try. And a great crossfield kick. I mean, they had the advantage. So Gibson Park just goes, you know what? I'm just going to kick it across to the corner. James Lowe will make something work because he keeps making plays. And exactly that happened. So kicked around to a corner. James Lowe knocks it back. Jamie Osborne's there. He puts it down. Then they start getting penalties. So at this point, it was 18 all. And so they take the 3 points, make it 21-18. They take the 3 again, only a couple of minutes later, through another penalty. And then right at the end, another penalty to make it 27-18. Final score. And you can see here, brilliant game. There was a lot of free-flowing rugby at times with just brilliant defense, brilliant effort plays. And I think this game had all of it. You can see there, 145 carries for the Welsh, 106 for the Irish. Turnovers lost, 12 for the Welsh and 10 for the Irish, so that's a bit of a problem. 4 turnovers, 1 for the Irish and 2 for the Welsh. 6 line breaks for Wales as well. They looked dangerous. I mean, where is he? Ellis Mee, the left winger for Wales, and Tom Rogers, they have a very similar kind of build. Tom Rogers maybe a bit more stocky, but, tall, lanky wingers, and they both had brilliant games. Really good games. They made breaks, they did offloads, and unfortunately one didn't stick for Max Llewellyn, where he might have, made something happen, because there was only him and Jamie Osborne 1-on-1 if he caught that offload. So I think both teams had it. 51% territory for the Welsh, 49% for the Irish. I mean, just such a turnaround. That's what I said for my match prediction as well. I said the teams do one or two things. They either, when a new coach comes in, they either, strengthen up, toughen up, do a great effort for that coach and for their team because their back's against the wall, or they just crumble. And the Welsh stood up and really gave their fans something to cheer for. And to me, bravo. I mean, it's not a win at the end of the day. So it's not like the Welsh supporters are going to be like, whoa, we won. But, at least it's just an improved performance. To only lose to the, Six Nations champions by 9 points, I think, you can take your positives, at least. That's what you can do. Couple players that really had brilliant games for me is Jack Morgan. Brilliant game by him. I think Tyg Byrne did his job again. Thomas Clarkson was a bit on and off. I was really hoping he would take this opportunity, but it seemed the starting Welsh front row had the better of the Irish front row, which is like unheard of. I think they got about 4 scrum penalties, something like that, which is insane. I mean, a couple probably wasn't penalties, but there was at least 2 or 3 which were penalties. So bravo to the Welsh for actually turning it around. And Nicky Smith, he's a dog, man. He's a dog. He's hungry. Whenever I've seen him play, he wants to play. You see him when he had to go off for the head knock. He was like, no, I don't want to go off. I want to stay on. Obviously, done his check, came back on. I really rate him as a player. He's done well for the Welsh. Will Griff-John as well. He held his own. That's all he had to do. He even got a penalty against Andrew Porter, who is probably the number 1 man you would think would be the British and Irish Lions number 1, right? Dan Sheehan, he got a bit, I guess, annoyed at times, which is fair. You're the captain and you guys aren't performing as I guess you thought in your heads. You probably, as a rugby player, like we all do this, no matter what age you are, the night before the game, you're running through scenarios, what's going to happen? What are we going to do? This is our game plan. And you're running through these scenarios. And when it doesn't play out in the game, I think, it can kind of disrupt you. And I think that's what happened. More players had a great game. Jack Conan did for the time he was on. Falatau had a brilliant game as well. Thomas Williams, he did so many good things. And then I guess he did a couple of bad things as well. Just little mistakes, which you don't expect him to make. But overall, great game. Gibson Park as well. He had a brilliant game as well. This Six Nations, he's the player of the tournament so far. There's no ifs or buts. He's had like 3 or 2 player of the matches, so brilliant by him. Prendergast, yet again, same thing. maybe it's Thomas Williams, where he does so many good things. You know, his kicking, I think it was a 50-20, 50-22, his spiraling kicks, but then he does a lot of bad things as well, just kind of like missed tackles and maybe like a bit of an error with the read. But yeah, if I were teams, I'd be aiming way more at him. I would send our big boys to find where he is and make him make tackles. You know, his skinny, lanky body. And I think, as I said before, with the substitutions and where the game changed, and I think it changed when Gareth Anscombe got injured. I seen him rolling out of a tackle, holding his head. He didn't look, he looked very, like, in a lot of discomfort. He got substituted straight away after for old mate, I think it was Joe Roberts. Oh, no, sorry, Jared Evans, who's the Harlequins number 10, backup, whatever it might be. And from then on, it was all Irish. Gareth Anscombe really had a great game for the 52 minutes he was on. He connected the backline of the forwards very well. He called the shots as a number 10 should, and he did a brilliant game, ran them all around, but his injury straight away after that, you can tell. So if you do rewatch the game, watch that moment where Gareth Anscombe gets injured, he goes off, it just changes straight away. Maybe that's because, Jared Evans gets thrown in the deep end. He's not too sure what to do. And at the end of the day, the Irish finished the game off. Bundy Aki came on. He was pivotal in the little amount of time he did have, but he solidified pretty much that last 25, 30 minutes. Just with his defense and his attacking prowess, changed a little bit. Even his little things, just catching the ball, quick hands, right at the line, catches the ball, real quick hands, put someone in a half hole, you're over the gain line, and suddenly the Welsh are back on the back foot. Blair Murray as well, yet again, done more good things than he did bad, and I think he had a brilliant game, set up the try, all that type of stuff. So well done to Blair Murray as well in this game. I'll have to rewatch the game again to decide on the bench who had a good game, but yeah, Jamison Gibson Park for me, brilliant game by him. So you can see here, Blair Murray, 11 runs for 77 meters. Ben Thomas, 10 carries for 29 meters. Ellis Mee with 13 carries for 69 meters, 2 clean breaks, and 6 broken tackles. Blair Murray with 11 broken tackles. A lot of missed tackles there by the Irish. Will Rowlands, 8 runs for 20 meters, 12 runs and 21 meters for Jack Morgan. Faletau with 15 runs and 26 meters made. Brilliant by him. Having that experience back means a lot, right? It really shows. And then on defense, you can see here as well, Llewellyn, 9 tackles, none missed. Then you got Will John, 10 tackles, 2 misses. Tommy Reffel putting in an effort, 17 tackles, 2 misses. Jack Morgan, 14 tackles, 0 misses. Brilliant effort by them. Brilliant effort. Then for the Irish, we got in the attack, you got Jamie Osborne, 19 runs, 49 meters. You got James Lowe, 8 runs, 35 meters. Broke 1 tackle. Prendergast, Joe McCarthy, 4 runs, 21 meters. Great average there. 5 meters a run is a lot. Jack Conan, 10 runs, 29 meters. On the defensive side, 13 tackles by Robbie Henshaw, only 1 miss. Brilliant. Prendergast, see, that's what I mean here, is 8 tackles, but he missed 8 as well. That's where teams got to really aim at him. 13 tackles for Porter, 1 miss. Sheehan, 11 tackles, no misses. Tyg Byrne, 15 tackles, 1 miss. Omani, 19 tackles, 1 miss. Van der Fleer, 12, 1 miss. And Conan, 10 tackles and 0 misses. So the forwards, brilliant tackling. I guess in the backs, that's where there's a few missed tackles there, right? Mac Hansen with 3, Lowe with 4, Prendergast with 8, 2 missed tackles by Gibson Park. And that's maybe the only reason why, the Welsh stayed in this game is because of that. There's missed opportunities, the missed tackles, and it could have even been a closer game at the end of the day. But brilliant for rugby, brilliant for the Six Nations to have such a close game. But let me know what you think. Do you agree, disagree? Did you like the game, dislike the game? If you're a Welsh supporter, how do you feel about this? Because I guess if I was a Welsh supporter, I'd be very happy, especially coming from the France game to the Italian game. At least I guess they were in it for a little bit, not much. The score could have been worse. But then coming back to this Irish game and being up at halftime and only losing in the last, 25 minutes, an improved effort. But let me know what you feel like, because obviously I'm not a Welsh supporter. So it'll be interesting to see your perspective on things. Let me know below in the comments. Like the video if you did like it. And hit that subscribe button as well. It means a lot. It's one little click, one click with your thumb, and you'll be able to see all the future videos. And it just means a lot to support the channel, and it costs you nothing. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.